obligation giving. Oh, inspired, heartfelt giving. That feels different. And we're learning every day, like, that's where I feel like we really should dwell, is in that space that you were in. It doesn't mean we have to go give all of our stuff away, but it's like when you really feel that a moment comes that touches your heart into giving, and you know you can, and you do it from love, it's the most amazing feeling, isn't it?
Yes, it was. It felt so awesome. I teared up, I think, and I just thought, what an amazing opportunity.
That's beautiful. I'm so grateful that you listened to that and that you honored that, because that's how I feel. That's how we become the earth angels in action that we are, is when we actually heed the call. We hear a calling, and we know we can answer that calling, and we can assist in whatever way it is. And that's how we become angels for each other. You know?
Yes.
So you were an angel. I should ring a bell, and then you'll get your wings. Ding, ding, ding. So I'm going to read a card that I drew for you. Are you open to a card?
Wait. Oh,
yeah. What is the name known?
Karma in the chat is saying, I always heard that Christmas is the most stressful time of the year. I never experienced it. The last 2 Christmases are the worst of my life because of family problems. So keep her in your thought too.
What's her name? Karma?
Karma.
Oh, excuse me.
Easy now. You take a drink.
Yeah, I'm just so dry because I took like an allergy pill to help me decongest. So anyway, fun times. Yeah, so sending love to Karma, and lots of angels with you, Karma. Remember that. And sometimes when we go through these hard times, they can feel really challenging and kind of cause us to temporarily lose our focus upon love and gratitude and all the good in the world. But these are times, like in my journey, some of the hardest times, especially at holidays, were such amazing opportunities for awakening and shifting in my own consciousness, going to a higher holographic reality. Sometimes we can sit back and we can observe and just be at the family function and just observe all the cray-cray, like sometimes energy is just crazy when you're in a big family setting and there's a lot of people, and you can sit back and observe it, but it can be such a great tool. Like I am getting ready to lead this new mentorship coming up January 16th for like the next 6 months, empowering the empath, and I've led many of them. And it's helping empaths move from a place of learning empath where they're just, absorbing all the energy, they're letting everything affect them, they're taking things personally, they're people pleasing, they're trying to get everyone to, think they're enough. Learning empath. And as we move through these stages to stepping into our embodiment of an empowered empath, this is a different way of living where you can be in that same movie with your family, and it's like a movie. You're sitting back and you're observing it, but you're not absorbing it. And if it doesn't feel good and it doesn't feel aligned and it doesn't feel high in vibration like love and beauty and honor, you have permission to take a holographic leap out of that movie. Yeah. And this is something that I know is going to challenge certain people because we're so conditioned and trained that we have to stay attached to these humans that we came into the world with, the blood family, the tribe, the gang, whatever you want to call it. And sometimes a soul is ready to expand beyond that tribe, and that tribe is actually enslaving and suffocating the expansion of that soul. And so this is where the ego energies can be very dysfunctional amongst the tribe. And for myself personally, it helps me when I could start to see, okay, I love these humans. I love them. But they're kind of crazy, and they're really hateful, and they're very hurtful and abusive to each other, and it doesn't feel good to me. And for years, I ignored that as a learning empath, and I was like, what's wrong with me? I'm so sensitive. Why do I have to be so sensitive? what do I have to do to be good enough for them so that they'll love me, they'll treat me nice, or what do I have to do to mediate so they'll treat this person nice, and so I get caught in the middle of things. And then I realized one day, I don't have to deal with this. I love these humans, but they are not of a very fun vibration, and they don't seem to want to be. They don't seem to want to hear the messages. Like the show, the way I speak to all of you, I've been like this my whole life with my family. Always a very tuned in soul, listening to angels and giving messages to family. But a lot of those humans didn't respect those messages. They didn't honor them. They just would shame me for even sharing them. And I started to realize it's time for Tanya Love to evolve beyond this tribe. And I can still love them unconditionally and want good for them, but I don't need to be a part of this drama. It's not my movie. And this is something that's very empowering for a soul to realize, is that every moment you have the right as a free sovereign being to make your choices in a space that feels best for you. So what many will call, if you're in a tribe that's very dysfunctional and abusive, they're going to say you're selfish. I promise you they will. And what's really selfish is humans that project abuse and project control upon a soul and teach it to forget that it's a free sovereign being. And so I encourage you, if you can process whatever is going on in your world, in your movie right now, not to be too attached to the role and the title, not to be too attached to role and title of mother, father, grandmother, sister, brother, all these titles that can really act as bondage and enslave us if we're not really careful. And we can be here, we're really in truth all brothers and sisters of light. And when we honor that divinity within ourselves and we honor that light and love of self-love, we will choose to go into higher frequencies, higher environments, like higher vibrational alignment, higher vibrational environments is what I'm trying to say. And we will find our soul family, our soul tribe. And even then, be mindful not to be too attached to role and title, because even a sense of soul tribe, like let's say I've had women's circles, and years ago, like maybe the first women's circle I led, none of those women are still coming to the circles I'm leading today. And I'm not taking that personally. There's a process, there's what they needed. There was different energies, some of them that were ready to actually choose to be in alignment and show honor, and some that just were takers. And we have this in our family. So always stay in a place where you remember that you are one with your source God, and you are one, and to thine own self be true. That is freedom. And then you can go and you can step into a family living room and observe their movie, but don't be too attached to that movie, and don't, feel like you have to stay and you have to suffer with them because they're your tribe. That's where I'm really going to challenge you to realize you are all one. All of us are one. And so we all have the right to choose a frequency that feels good for us. And so if we're feeling like being around these people feels really heavy and it makes me feel kind of depressed or tired or angry, then don't choose to be around them. Choose to go in a new direction. I think Cindy and I actually processed that around Thanksgiving. Like, you don't have to go to the family gathering if it doesn't feel good. And if there's a bunch of drama and BS happening, go hang out with your friends. Go home alone and put in your favorite movie and, make yourself a healthy dinner and just have a good quiet day. So it's like just to help us remember, as we're birthing a new earth, the new earth is going to be birthed from our consciousness, and our consciousness, if we remember that we are infinite love and light, and we are deserving and worthy of all the goodness we desire, then we will give that to ourselves, and we won't put ourselves in situations that feel enslaving. And that's a huge part of our shift, I hope, for the new year, that many humans are ready to make, because none of us came here to be slaves, but many of us are living that way. So let me know if Karma gets back to me on that sharing.
I will.
Anything else?
Meantime, on Blab, I don't know what's her name, Sandra. She's saying, I like what you're saying. I'm often billionized. Is this the way you say that word? Billionized? Because I naturally shy away from anything that feels uncomfortable. Villainized. Oh, villainized. Okay.
Got it.
Well, yeah.
So maybe people project upon her, like, this happens to my daughter, AJ, and sometimes people even thinking of me, go figure. We're both very sensitive empaths. We're very tuned into energy and frequency. And I was kind of trying to explain this to my beloved's family when we met with them, because there's often a misunderstanding of us, like when we first meet people and they're like, oh, they're so, I think what they said about AJ is she's so shy. She's so shy and so antisocial. And I was like, not at all. She's very social, but she's very, she's very sensitive. And so am I. And so when we walk into a gathering of like 30, 40 people, and we're used to being at home in our sacred space where it's us and it's really quiet and peaceful, it's a huge, like, energetic shocker. And so the reason I love leading these empowering empath mentorships and helping clients with this, and like Cindy and I, we've done a lot of soul coaching together remotely, is helping her to see it's okay to be sensitive and it's okay to honor the empath that you are. And that doesn't mean you're shy or antisocial. It means that you feel energy very quickly and powerfully. So part of it's like educating others to understand us. And so, like with the family, I was telling them, I hear what you're saying about AJ, but she's actually very social and very sweet child. And she would talk to you if you go and connect with her. But when we walk into the house and there's 30 people talking at one time, it's like we just walked into an energetic, like, explosion. And we're discerning all the frequencies and like feeling them and reading them. And it's just like overwhelming. And so sometimes we walk in, people are talking to her and she doesn't respond. And so they're like, oh, she's so antisocial. And I'm like, no, she can't hear you because there are so many people talking. She's trying to tune all that noise out and she's trying to focus on one thing. And this is something we need to start to honor in each other, is to realize that, those that are sensitive souls and they're empaths, they often will become very introverted and they'll kind of shy away from social events. And it's not because they're antisocial. It's because they feel all that energy and it's overwhelming. But if people could understand that and kind of support them and give them a few moments, which is what I requested from the family, when we come over, just give us a half an hour. Like, let us go put our coat down and kind of sit in the living room and kind of settle in. And let us just observe you for a little while without thinking we're judging you, because we're not. We're just sitting there and we're kind of anchoring in our own frequency and we're observing everything. And then we can start to connect one-on-one with people. But it's something that it's taken me a while to really own that for myself. And now I love and get so much joy of helping empower other empaths, because I feel like we don't need to walk around with these labels of thinking that we're antisocial and we're shy, when really we're just sensitive. And the sensitive is not a weakness. It's not a label of something's wrong with us. Sensitivity is a strength. It's a gift. The reason I can help people and tune into their auric field and help them clear things from past lives and all the magic that I do that helps lives change in powerful ways, that is from my sensitivity. And so I've learned to honor the fact that I have very sensitive antennae that reach out and they're feeling and they're discerning the energy always. And this is a gift. Like, many of us that are very sensitive souls, we're healers and shamans that are here to help humanity. But when we don't understand and we haven't been taught, or let's say supported in who we are, we start to take on those roles and those titles of, she's sensitive, meaning there's weakness there, or she's antisocial, and we start to take that on and we start to behave according to those titles. And I encourage you to challenge that and just really love yourself and be yourself, but start to communicate with those around you what it's like to be you. And the ones who really love you and support